Here we are, the final pair of opposites, pleasure and pain. Perhaps the final frontier, because we're all going to have to reckon with unexpected pain. The Buddha said we're all going to have days like this, swinging between the poles, but frankly, I'm grateful for these two, because without pleasure, where would we be? Really, where would we be without pleasure? Really. I'm serious. Pleasure is what helps us bear witness to the daily pains and sufferings of the folks that we see across the globe who are suffering, and most certainly with the pain that we carry personally inside our bodies and minds and hearts. I don't know where we'd be if it not for the joy and the pleasure and the uplift that also spontaneously arises during the day. I know we wish that pain was optional, but it isn't. Remember, for the uninstructed, run-of-the-mill person, as well as for the well-instructed disciples, these will arise. This comes with the package of being born, with being born human, surviving and living in these changing weather conditions on planet Earth, with its diverse and uniquely evolving ecosystem that we are a part of. Who could have imagined that we would have lived through a pandemic, right? What a good example. Things are out of our control, and they exert an impact. Pain is definitely one of them. Pain impacts us. It affects our well-being. It affects our sense of self, who we think we are, and it affects our attitude and outlook, our sense of goodwill toward ourselves, toward others, and toward our surroundings. Who cares what the house looks like when we're in pain and we can't move? But the problem is that we do care. I'll get back to that in a little bit. It affects how we see our life and our ability to engage in life, especially how to engage life authentically. And it affects our sense and how we relate to our bodies and other bodies. But I ask, if this was a child in need before you, how would you respond? If it was a child, right? It changes things a bit, doesn't it? Then I don't care how I see something. If a child comes running up to me and is crying and upset, I'm going to stop what I'm doing and listen and be responsive, attentive to support the little one to calm down, to shore them up, and to help them to feel a little bit more grounded and settled into themselves. Then, if necessary, we can talk about it and figure things out. I know when to set my needs aside and attend in this way. But what do we do when it's our own pain? How do we respond? Most of us have developed strategies. We compare, we judge, we size up. We hide, we defend, we pretend, we protect, we override, we numb, we dismiss, ignore, and punish. Yep. Well, from the vantage of mindfulness, from that posture of friendly, caring attention, pain is asking to be seen, to be held, to be considered. Whether it stays or goes, for however long it is here, mindfulness notices that pain and begins to consider how to be as comfortable as possible amidst the discomfort that is present. Let me repeat that. For however long the pain is here, mindfulness notices that pain and begins to consider how to be as comfortable as possible amidst the discomfort that is present. This is the aim of practice. This is how we ride the waves of pain and discomfort in these bodies, hearts, and minds. Pain may still be there, but now it's being held in the gaze of friendly, caring attention. That's very different than Susan Morgan doing the looking, because she may or not be in the mood to give loving attention, because she may be too busy doing something else, something that's far more important, like taking care of somebody else, or doing the dishes, or any other task than noticing the pain that I'm in. So, when I wake up in the middle of pain, be it a painful conversation, be it that I wake up in the middle of sadness and loss, I wake up in the middle of knee pain or a headache, right? Or wake up into the pain from illness, whether it's chronic or acute. When we wake up in the middle of pain, notice and name pain as a label, pain. Just name it. Name what is already here, what we're already hinting at, what we already feel. But land there for a moment long enough to notice what it is that's there. Now take a breath. Withdraw unwise attention from unwise thinking that's just going to proliferate the pain. Come back inside to this body and breathe. Breathe life back into this attitude of friendly, caring attention. Feel back into feeling a bit more settled and let the ripples of disturbance pass through. Make room, just as you would do for a child. You might consider that line of questioning. How might you respond to a child to help you feel your way back into that posture of friendly, caring attention? That's what we're going for. We're cultivating that. And this brings me to pleasure. Where would we be without it? Just like a child, we adults seek pleasure. And pleasure is deeply important as a stabilizing and balancing energy for the heavier, darker energies of pain. Where pain sinks, pleasure uplifts and supports our ability to hold that pain. The Buddha said, "O monks, pleasure arises for the everyday run-of-the-mill person as well as for the well-trained disciple." But when Susan Morgan, the average Joe, everyday run-of-the-mill person, is in pain, when I look and feel like a creature from the Black Lagoon, verified by witness A, I have learned to deliberately surround myself with pleasure. I'll rest. I'll take myself outside and sit in the fresh air and the open space. Just that soothes me. It releases the grip around the heart. I might close my eyes and let them rest, or listen to lovely music, or simply notice and support breathing so that breathing feels as comfortable as possible in the position that my body is in. Where do you feel this kind of release and relief and pleasure? The pleasure that comes with easing off of pain, or just leisure, just for the sake, just for pleasure's sake to kick back? What situations bring you pleasure? Where or how does ease and joy naturally arise? Where and how do you create pleasurable experiences for yourself? Again, if I'm in pain, I might make a cup of tea and put it in a beautiful cup. I might take a bath or stretch myself out on the couch or on the floor. What would feel pleasurable, easeful, comfortable in this moment? This is the inquiry. How can we be as comfortable as possible in the discomfort that is present? And how can we bring about pleasure, enjoyment, or ease and comfort? Over the years, through practice, I've come to see that these small gestures of kindness that bring about pleasure and ease are essential for balancing the weightiness of pain and suffering that we're all asked to bear in life, big and small. There's no escaping that. But mindfulness, with its posture of friendly, caring attention, that's oriented toward less suffering and more ease of well-being, it can make use of these opposite energies. Pleasure can fuel our energy to keep attending kindly to the pain. And the pain can help us more deeply appreciate the pleasure and ease that does arise. So let's not indulge preferences. Let's not overly indulge pleasure or knee-jerk away from pain. Pain comes and goes, pleasure comes and goes. When pain is here, what does it need? When pleasure is here, how much can we be aware of and appreciate its presence? Hopefully, with time and with patience and practice, we can learn to ride these waves and not fight, not resist, and not indulge. So, let's use these experiences and learn how to hold our pain kindly and how to appreciate the pleasures that just naturally arise and learn how to savor them as if it was the last bite of your favorite cake. Our hearts can use many shots of good loving like this. And okay, here's some extra points. If you want extra points, reflect on these pleasures that occur over the course of the day. Reflect on them at night as you're falling asleep. The more we do this, the more we begin to recondition our hearts toward being more resilient in the presence of life's burdens. Okay? All right then. We can do this. It's for our welfare.